This is from Hale M, and this is going to be getting back to the general political questions. Here we go.
Hi guys, Hale from Austin, Texas here. On a recent episode, Will mentioned that his negative opinion of people with multiple tattoos constituted his most conservative opinion. So I was wondering for the rest of you, what is your most conservative opinion? I'll state mine. I think pornography and gambling should both be legal, but you should not be able to get them on your phone. You should have to go through that bearded curtain at a video store, or call Slippery Pete, who will break your legs if you don't pay up. Thank you.
Hell, I endorse the gambling and pornography like a barrier, like a physical barrier to entry to either of those vices. I think is actually a very good idea. So I will co-sign that level of regulation on those two vices in particular.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really like where your head's at. I think that so this sort of goes hand in hand with our 80-20 policy ideas. I don't think this would be 80-20 necessarily, but I think there should be a regulation also where you cannot give a child a smartphone. You can't get one until you're like 22. But I do think that we should make it so that the moment you enter 8th grade, you get to have a pretty nice desktop computer. So you figure out like how to actually do shit. So we can finally get some born after 9/11s that know how to convert a PDF. Because it's a real problem. They get started on iPhones and they have all the pitfalls of computer addiction without any of the abilities.
I mean, do Felix or Matt, do you ever have any sort of like vaguely reactionary beliefs or ideas, like similar to my belief that people with tattoos are criminals and scum, unless you're a hot woman? I'd like to make
right.
Again.
I have a little bit of a conservative opinion. I don't even know if you'd call this like reactionary. I think all the accusations against Imperial Japan are lies.
I had a reaction opinion. Cut your goddamn hair.
You talking to me?
Just straight up. Anyway, it's inveterate, so cut your goddamn hair.
I think I actually have one. And this is more like just maybe socially reactionary in a little way. I think that one of the biggest cultural mistakes was this sort of thing where we reward people for crying in public.
Yeah.
I think we really, I don't know, just in general, and it just is always talking about depression, the flattening of all whatever mental ailments people have, and this is the entire thing where it's like, hey, if you see like a bipolar guy like Kanye going out and like having a zoo for women who are in music videos, he's actually hurting. I think it gets to a certain point where if you have kids, I'm sure it fucking sucks to need to take the types of antipsychotic medications that exist. But if you elect to be responsible for the lives of others, we have to have less sympathy for that. No one has made you be responsible for others, and there has to be a limit to just, hey, they're fucking hurting. And the entire like effusive public display of crying and constantly talking about depression, I think it's a cultural detriment.
I agree with that. I think there should be a certain level of like a certain cultivation of like a public facing stoicism, even if you're not that way in your personal life.
Right. In your personal life, do whatever. But I think it's like
be an Epicurean. It's much better. It's much better.
Or just be a not so epic Korean. You're a regular Korean guy. I mean like this thing where, you know, a famous guy will watch a movie and post a picture of their tear-stained face. That's what I mean. I think it got overly rewarded during the Obama years.
I guess just like to add on to my my feelings about people with tattoos, which is mostly unjust, but like I guess along those lines of like what are my most like reactionary impulses or beliefs, I think one of them is that I would be fine with certain kinds of public punishment for like really just rude and antisocial behavior, like the stockades or being caned or something like they do in Singapore, for, you know, like just like the small acts of like inconsiderate rudeness that people have gotten far too comfortable partaking in. And just like this a thoughtless mistreatment of other people in public spaces. I think I would not mind some sort of stockades like punishment for certain behaviors that have become far too accepted.
Yeah.
Like wearing shirts with swear words on them at the airport.
Yeah, things like that. You know, like playing fucking TikToks on your phone through the phone speakers. There was a big discourse brouhaha about how like people are trying to argue that it's okay to do that in public, or just like talk to FaceTime people at like a coffee shop without headphones on. And I just think no, the lash for you for that.
The line must be drawn here.
Not again. The line must be drawn here.
Yeah.